Hello guys, I'm here to make a new video about how to fix your Homebrew browser if you're having the issue of it not really working that well. Some cases it will just not let you download anything, or the images won't show up. In any case, I actually am using a phone to record this right now, considering I can't really record anything on a computer because I don't have one. Believe it or not, I hacked my Wii with my phone. Simply, to fix this, you have to go into your SD card, or wherever you have your Homebrew browser currently. You have to go through the settings.xml, and you gotta change the settings server here. And it used to be a 0. You have to change that to 1. If you change that to 1, then it will actually correctly activate. I already have other apps downloaded on there. Recommend some of these other ones. The Wii MFI Patcher, which lets you, go online even long after Nintendo Wi-Fi connection went down. Also rip the Wii shop, that's down too. Wii Mod's good for downloading WADs. Preloader is great for a bricked Wii. Nintendo lets you download GameCube backups and also just GameCube games in general and load them off of the Wii, and it'll read them as a disc, so they run really well. And BootMe, which is basically just another way to keep my Wii safe. Alright, so I got that done, and now I'm going to show you what you gotta do. I'll go somewhere a little brighter. This is my micro SD card adapter. See it? And now I have to insert it. I don't know how I'm going to do this with one hand. Oh yeah, I got it. Click. Alright. So now we go over to the Wii. You can probably barely see it, but I'm inserting it into the card slot. You can't do this on a... So, you see that you gotta put it in with this side right here facing left. Just insert it. So there's my Wii. Now I'm just going to grab my emote. This is the Bowser one. Note that certain Homebrew apps actually will not work with this, considering they need older remotes. Anyway, we go here onto the Homebrew channel and click Start. Alright, all our things that I showed earlier are now loaded onto here. You go onto the Homebrew browser, you load it up, and the dog is getting in the way of the video. Riggs, I'm doing illegal stuff. You have to get out of the way. Anyway, it should say that, doing all that. There. And now we're in. There's demos, emulators, games, media, and utilities. Utilities is one of the first things you should look at. Even though, you're like, oh, yes, I just homebrewed my Wii, I have to check out some of the fun stuff I can do with the emulators and games. You should probably check in on some of these utilities. You will need some of these. Or at least take a good look at them, considering they are real cool. Some of them do some pretty neat stuff. Like one is a alarm clock, and it will make your disk drive light up wherever you set the time to. There's some random games here. Generally just, okay games. Some are a bit subpar. And then we get to the emulators. It takes a while for it to load if you click another page, but eventually it loads. And now there's all the emulators here. These are channel installers, so they install the WAD without you having to get the multi-mod manager, or mod manager, or WeMod. All the RPG player, UAE, which is Amiga emulator. They got some really varied emulators here. One of the best ones probably has to be Genesis Plus. The more advanced console ones tend to get a little iffy. MAME actually kind of sucks on here. The best you could probably do is a very certain few CPS1 games. Probably the best you can get out of this. But I wouldn't use your Wii for MAME, sadly, unless they somehow release a better version. But that's basically all I have to tell you about. The weirdo is just telling you menu. But all the other apps are pretty decent. If you should go and see what you can do with WADs, considering they let you download channels now that the Wii Shop is dead. I'm gonna show you Nintendo, which I actually have on the menu. It was that glitching out GameCube icon. It's purposely supposed to look like that. And it gets ready to check your storage devices, and then when you go in, after it does a bit of loading, it asks if you want to load from SD or USB. You go on to your whatever your storage device you have. I have Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart Double Dash, Naruto Clash of Ninja 2, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and Wario World. I know that you're confused on why I have Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 and Naruto Clash of Ninja 2. They're two really good games that I have a bit of a soft spot for, and I only really got to play them with borrowed copies. And yeah, I just decided to get them. I probably play Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 the most, though, which is probably disappointing to some of you guys, because it's just a Dragon Ball licensed game, but I also play a good amount of Melee, so yeah. I can't really play any of these games, but I can show you how well they run by... How about I boot Melee? And Nintendo will go black for a second. Alright, I'm here again. I'm on the menu this time. I rebooted my Wii, and I'm going to actually instead load Nintendo straight off of the menu. This is also how I got some of the other stuff. Like WeMod can be opened from here. All the other random boring stuff nobody cares about. And this is what WAD Manager can do, is you can download WAD files for games. So basically you get to have the games in their channel forms. Though I did buy Smash Bros. And Sonic 3. But then there's Mega Man 10, Mega Man 9, Dr. Mario Online RX, Chick Chick Boom, which is a really underrated game, you should try it. And also Bit Trip Runner. This may look like a packed Wii, but trust me, you probably won't be able to get a Wii to look like this anymore unless you hack it. And see, I have all these three apps sitting here. I was so sad to move Wii Shop channel to the end where dead apps go. And with that, I think that there is no really any more apps that can probably die. I had to uninstall Netflix, considering there's literally no use for it. Considering I'm pretty sure I heard things about there no longer being streaming services. You can also transfer some of these WADs on your SD card, considering you can go in onto the Wii options, go to your data management, go to your channels. Then you go and you can pick your channel, pick to copy it onto the SD card, just in case your Wii itself is running out of space and you want to add the channels to the SD card instead. Probably a better idea considering the SD card has multiple times the space, depending on your size. Mine is 16 inside of an SD card adapter. But anyway, I'm actually going to boot a different game, considering if Smash Bros. Melee is going to be iffy and ruin my video, then I'll just try something else. So it's going to do the same old boot process that I was trying to show earlier. Loading kernel, storage devices. I know that there's a little strobing effect. There's no fan moving above me or anything. That's just me recording my screen. I know I'm recording a screen, and this must suck for you, but I just can't really fix anything about it. So instead, I'll show you some Mario Kart Double Dash. Alright, so the game runs really well, full 60 FPS. This is not an emulator. This is basically just like a bridge for your Wii to read the games. It thinks that you're playing a disc right now. You're not. You could play with all the players. You can even hook up USB controllers like a PS4 controller and play Nintendo with completely different controllers. It can even register classic controllers connected to the Wiimote. In fact, I could turn on the Wiimote right now and register as a controller. But if I wanted, I could play games that can use the classic controller and use stuff like the SNES Classic controller, which I got plugged into the SNES Classic right now. My NES Classic is hiding behind those games. And basically, a lot of different wired controllers work with this, which is super cool in case you're running out of your main controllers. Probably one of the best things to do with this is probably to connect one of those Smash GameCube controllers that hook up to the Wiimotes. I have the Luigi version of that. That would work pretty well as a GameCube controller replacement. But yeah, you can go and everything works completely smoothly. Nintendo is probably one of the best ways to play GameCube games if you're not scared of piracy, that is. In which I'm not. If you guys are, then you should probably not download Nintendo, because that's basically what it's meant for. But you can also, make backups of your games on here, and that technically isn't illegal. So you could use a Nintendo for that, because that's also a good way to, play your games without having to insert the disc. And also, all things that you play on Nintendo will, in fact, save onto the memory card you have inserted, because it thinks that it's a GameCube game, so it runs like one. Which is pretty cool, so in case maybe you want to get an official copy of this game at some point, I'll play it on Nintendo, beat it, and then use that save data on an official copy. I have a memory card sitting there in the back. You probably can't see because it's dark as hell. But yeah, probably the best way to play GameCube games, obviously, is to use the official controller on Nintendo. But, experimenting with others wouldn't be too bad of an idea. The PS4 controller, I tried that. It's kind of iffy. It actually crashed one of the games when I pressed a button once. So, I think I'd try to go through a little bit of setup before I hooked up one of these. It also helped me do the Super Smash Bros. Melee exploit where you get Mewtwo, because I just hooked up some different kinds of controllers. But anyway, that's kind of my whole thing on this. I wanted to fix what I had previously made in my older video, and this one's probably hopefully a bit more interesting and a bit more informative. Probably won't garner as much attention as my last one, because as of now it has over 800 views. But I want this to be a way of showing you guys that I actually care, and that last one got a bit of dislikes. It actually doesn't have any likes from the last time I checked. So yeah, I just tried to rectify my mistake and hopefully help you guys be aware of some good homebrew apps. Definitely try Preloader to keep your Wii from getting bricked from hacking. And this is Ray Nolan signing out. See you later, guys.